North Carolina Therapeutic Writing Center actually isn't my only experience, and I just believe in the program as a whole. Especially with them, they come through NORA and they have special certifications, and I actually picked them because of that. So it is a really good program. But just, hippotherapy in general, it's been so great. In every Caitlin was born about 4 months early at 24 weeks gestation, so she was 1 pound 10 ounces, and she has a mild cerebral palsy as a result. So it's affected her fine motor skills, her gross motor skills, sensory integration dysfunction. She has other respiratory issues, but that's not really related to the therapy program. She wears leg braces. She has a little bit wide of a gait, so it kind of affects how she walks a little bit. It's not severe, so it's kind of hard for people to tell if she's not wearing jeans where they can kind of see her leg braces, but it is noticeable when she runs, things like that. If someone would just walk too fast by her, she would start to shake. I actually got a phone call once from one of her teachers asking me if she had seizures. And I said, no, not that I know of, but I went and I made sure, and what it was is they're tremors. She would have tremors. They're uncontrollable. Sometimes when she was younger, it would be so bad that she would drop into a fetal position. If it was a loud noise, especially a high-pitched loud noise, bright light, or a child could run near her, and she would get scared and drop to a fetal position and plug her ears. And actually, a lot of kids with sensory issues will plug their ears because it's a way of controlling, shutting out one of those senses. One of the things I have noticed with the writing program, when they're writing, my kids would do that less. Aaron will still do it, but he does do it less. Aaron was born also about 4 months early. He was 1 pound. He was roughly 1 pound 10 ounces. So he had a lot more internal damage. He does not have cerebral palsy. A lot of his damage was to his lungs and things like that. However, he does have developmental delay. So if he's pretty much developmentally behind by about a year and a half in certain areas. He does have sensory integration dysfunction as well. So he has trouble approaching other children, which is one of the reasons why we got him involved in the writing program, because we wanted to socialize him with other children. He really has a hard time interacting in conversation with his own peers or what to say, things like that. So the OTs work with him with that, and then also with his fine motor skills, his gross motor skills, things like that. They usually walk around. They do a little bit of occupational therapy where they have like cones and stuff. They do different things every time, so it just makes it fun. They love this game called What Time Is It, Mr. Fox, where they get closer and they teach the kids how to get the horses to walk and stop, and then they have to turn the horses around when the fox comes and tries to eat them. It's just, the kids love it. For them, it's not therapy. For them, it's fun. It's a game. So I think that's why they love it. They've had many therapies throughout the years. Caitlin started physical therapy from the time she wasn't even hardly 10 or 11 pounds. She was tiny. She was doing therapies. The hippotherapy has been monumental in her trunk strength. That's one of the issues that she has. Having cerebral palsy, she had really weak trunk strength. And almost the first time she sat on the horse, she just kind of slumped back and fell backwards. Over the years, that has really improved. Not just that, but she started when she was 3, and she's also has a lot of sensory issues, and it's almost like the rhythm of the horses and the way that the horse moves kind of mimics how she would walk if she didn't have the cerebral palsy. It has really helped her to develop and strengthen. It has, believe it or not, I don't know how it works, but it helps with their sensory issues, both of the children. And I heard that it did. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it does. It does. I can tell when they're doing a writing season and how their reactions are at home and things like that, and when they're not writing. Aaron, it helps him with his sensory and being around animals and things like that. He likes it, but it's hard to know what that is. You know, is it going to school? Or I mean, I just know that he likes it and that it's shown improvement. With Caitlin, it's easier to see just simply because she had so much deficiency in her strength and her trunks and her arms, things like that. And you can immediately see it just in her gait when she walks, the difference when she's been doing it. So I would never take this from her. She loved horses before she ever rode. She saw pictures of them. We weren't even sure how she was going to react the first time she saw a real horse, and I'm really glad it was actually a therapy horse, because before we could stop her at 2, she ran up and wrapped her arm around the horse's leg. And being a therapy horse, they lock and they won't move. They know. Any other horse would have probably flung her. But she's always loved horses, and it's one of the things that she can do well. You know, she does a lot of things. We put her in soccer, we put her in dance, things like that. Sometimes she'll kind of get it discouraged and say, I can't do it like everybody else. But when she gets on the horse does the movement for her. So I mean, she's just gotten so good at it, and just being able to trot and ride, and it's one of those things that she can do really well, and she loves it. Aaron had animal phobia before he was doing the riding center. That's part of his sensory. He doesn't like to touch things with fur, or if he thinks they're going to make noises. He's still very afraid of dogs. But he has kind of it was an animal phobia. I mean, a phobia as in, like, he would do things if he thought he was going to encounter an animal. He wouldn't go outside if he thought that he was going to encounter another animal. The very first time we put him on a horse, he cried a little bit. But he was still kind of having fun because it's something he saw his big sister do, and he wants to do everything his big sister does. So he was trying to deal with it. And we told him to lean over and pet the horse. And it was just, he refused to do it. His hand locked up, and he was like, no. And now, I mean, he has no problem with it. And it's helped him with other animals. He'll at least go outside if there's a dog or something like that. And he's less afraid of animals. He'll pet his horse. He doesn't particularly like it, but he'll reach his hand out and he'll pet the horse or whatever, and he'll laugh when he does it sometimes. So that's a lot different, because we didn't think he'd ever touch an animal on purpose. The riding center has been great with helping them with their day-to-day activities and coping strategies, things like that. They reach out and they help kids that really need this, of all different levels and abilities. I've met parents that have had children with every different kind of disability that I can think of, and it's the animals themselves are therapeutic. The people are great. They're so nice. Even the volunteers or the people that work there, everyone has been just so wonderful. So we were really happy with the program. In every experience that I've known of parents, I've never talked to a parent who said, oh, yeah, I wish we hadn't done this. You know, just the smiles on the kids' faces, and the fact that they're happy to go and they're happy to be there, and they're around other kids that have different issues. They don't feel so alone, and just it's the whole program is really great.